Hi, my name is Dana Hanson. I'm the Director of Franchise Development for College Hunks, Hauling Junk and Moving. And we are joined today by two of my very favorite people, let alone franchise owners, Kim and Yadder. Hey, good morning. How you guys doing?
Good, Dana. We're doing good. How you doing this morning?
Doing great. I'm so happy to see your smiling faces. And man, it seems like just a minute ago you were on the other side considering a franchise. It's cool to see you as owners in that orange and green. So very, very cool. I was hoping you guys could introduce yourself, maybe, just your name, a little bit about your background and where you're located.
Yeah, sure. Let's hope I don't stutter too much because of my nerves. I'm camera shy. We're Yadder and Kimberly Mejia. We are College Hunks, Hauling Junk and Moving, the Woodlands franchise partners. We've been in business since May 10th, and now it's August. So we're on our official third month of business. We jumped right into it. We came in during the busy season, so it was definitely something to experience. But everything we expected is kind of what happened. We're kind of thankful, for how the way it played out, the way it's playing out.
Man, I love hearing that, and I'm so we were joking before the call. It looks like you look like a different person, but like you're so animated. You have so much fun, so much joy. Like even from the beginning, I think like your first week, you posted that picture of you kind of in a breakdance pose, doing a little bit of b-boying. We're a fun, enthusiastic brand, so you're definitely a great fit for us.
Yeah, no, I think that it was a perfect match because whenever my search or our search was one of those that required a franchise that had our energy, right? That matched our personality. And we are a bit outgoing. You're right. I can't do a breakdance move still, I'm like pushing 40 years old and I can still do that. Matter of fact, that picture of me doing that breakdance move ended up becoming like the main picture for the revenue reports or something. What was it? It was I didn't even know it was going to happen, right? I was scrolling through the report and I was like, whoa. So that's me, so that's that kind of enthusiasm that we needed. We needed to have that kind of that personality, and to this day it hasn't changed. That's exactly how we operate, and our guys, I think they're kind of just feeding off of that, man. So I think with that, look, it shows because our guys, they love what they do. They're taking initiative and responsibility for all of their actions because of the way we are here. We let them know, hey, like whatever it is that happens, understand that we're not going to point fingers. That the way we operate here is a company thing, and if anything, like any actions that you take because of the initiative that you took upon yourself, and something doesn't end up right, hey, it's a company thing. Let's evaluate our process, right? So that's that's where it kind of goes, the direction it goes with the way we operate our franchise, with this enthusiastic energy, if it makes sense. It kind of ties in together.
No, it does. It definitely does. So I'm curious, like what, if you wouldn't mind sharing what you guys did before College Hunks, like what career field were you in? What did you do?
I was in the subsea oil and gas industry for a little over 14 years, doing subsea completions and interventions, which meant, I used to jump on helicopters, fly out to the Gulf of Mexico, an hour later land on a rig and hit the deck running, as we would call it, because it was a very, very fast-paced industry. And what I specialized in was subsea blowout preventers and well control intervention systems. So I specialize in keeping the entire rig safe. I was that compliance verification guy that nobody wanted to talk to but had to. So, so yeah, that's what I did. And Kim, she was a fleet manager. Go ahead, tell them about yourself.
So I did fleet management, I did accounting, and I did IT work. So
yeah, and then
well-rounded.
before that, we were in the military. If it would have stayed in, we would have been retiring already. So that's how long it's been. This year we would have been retiring from the military. So
that's pretty funny. And did you guys meet in the military?
Yeah.
We met on the other side of the world. We met in Korea. It was one of those things that was like that. So many things had to happen in order for us to run into each other, and we did. So we figured we were just destined to be. And I wouldn't have it any other way. She and I, Kim is one of the greatest supports that any person can ever have. And I mean this wholeheartedly. When I was running in the oil and gas industry, living for 6 months out of the year, she was there supporting everything that I couldn't take care of, being away from home. And then, when I was in the military, and she was actually at home caring for the kids, she's just the greatest support system. So I was like, if I'm gonna do something, we're gonna go into a franchise. It's something that I want to go into with, the smartest woman I know.
Hey, you know what? You guys make an awesome power couple. I think I mentioned that to you when you guys were going through the process, and it's certainly evident. So just out of curiosity, why didn't you want to stay in kind of doing what you're doing? Why did you want to get into a business in the first place? Why franchising?
I think I'm an entrepreneur, but at heart, any opportunity that I saw, any business opportunity that I saw, I would jump on it, and she would be like, here we go again, So,
They're small.
Yeah, but I mean, anything with business, I just love, I love it. I see the challenges, I love, the manipulation of numbers and how, if you do something here, this happens. And then studying of business. I mean, I even took business, in college, and I didn't even do it for a degree, right? I did it just for the knowledge. I wasn't chasing a degree because I knew that, entrepreneurship is where I needed to be. And, I've had a few other companies that, have succeeded and some that haven't succeeded, but the ones that I learned the most is from the ones that didn't succeed. And so I think I took all these learning lessons, and then the additional, courses that I took in college, and just put everything all together, the oil and gas industry, the military, the leadership, the 20 years of leadership that I've accumulated, along with the leadership that Kim has had. And, we looked at her background and, her ability to be able to manage any, things that are bigger than herself, fleets, of up to 50 vehicles. Me being able to manage $1 million operations a day, right? And so we're like, you know what, the money is good, but where's the that purpose? Where's reason to everything that we're doing? I mean, you can make money anywhere, but that purpose isn't there. I guess if my purpose was to make, the rich richer, then okay, cool. Then I guess I'm doing a good thing, because these guys are, billionaires. But I said, it's time to really, really look into what franchise we want, but let's really have a purpose behind it. Let our powers combine, like Captain Planet, and you're right. And
I love that. And I think you hit the nail on the head. I think people are looking for purpose, and if they can, I think that you need to have a compelling reason to get yourself out of bed on a Monday morning and say, man, I'm looking forward to this week. What are we going to do? I am curious, most people, when they think about businesses, lot of them aren't really thinking about the moving industry or junk removal industry. It's not necessarily a quote sexy business or something they're like, oh dang, I need to get into that.
Yeah.
But what was it about College Hunks that resonated with you? Like why, like you could have chosen anything. Like why did you choose College Hunks?
I think Kim probably has her reason, and then I have my reason. I'm gonna let ladies go first because I'm curious to hear her reason. I really am.
Yeah,
And
let's
then
hear
I'll
it,
say
Kim.
mine.
Yeah.
No, you're right. When we were looking at franchising, moving and junk hauling was probably the last thing on our minds. But what really stood out to me was what College Hunks stood for. The purpose behind everything that we do. It's not only to, help families move with stress-free, but it's also, giving back to the community. We have so many ways we can give back. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I fell in love with the culture and the purpose of everything that we do here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kim's kind of leaning in the same direction with what I was gonna say. It's that culture, but it takes a lot for that culture to become a permanent thing. It takes years for a culture to be implanted, into a company. So I saw that culture was there, the culture book, read the entire culture book from front to back, read everybody's definition of what culture is. And I was like, this is pretty cool, and then, it's everything. Like I keep thinking about Nick and Omar, right? How those guys, I mean, the way they kind of implemented, that to the franchise, and how the franchise ran with it and just created something even bigger. That was impressive to me, and again, back to Nick and Omar, they just made something seem so realistic and positive, so I think that's
They did, yeah, they did a really great job. And what's interesting is they did it at such a young age. I wish I had that much foresight when I was their age. And they, like they definitely, took some, they revolutionized an industry. And it's pretty, pretty amazing. So I have a couple more questions. So I'm curious about this one. What do you like most about being a franchise owner with College Hunks? Like what is, like what's that look like?
What I like the most is the team.
Mm-hmm.
Our company revolves around our guys, and maybe that's why we had, what we can consider a successful second month, because our guys, like, we really like our company really revolves around our guys. Everything has to do with our guys. And if our guys, are happy, are good, then our clients will be happy, our clients will be good, and our guys will work towards, they work towards what the better interest of the company now, instead of the better interest of themselves, because now they become part of that, they embody that. So it's the guys, and it's like that, us folk, like seeing like the cause and effects of the things that we do and how it affects the guys. It's us coming in the morning, them wishing us a good morning as they walk through the hallway, as them bringing their issues on what they have, personal matters, is them needing a ride. It's the guys, man. It's everything that they do, it's us helping them grow, like watching them grow. So we've only been in business for a few months, but like we had, an airborne infantryman show up, and this is his first job ever after the military, and he had like not a very impressive resume, but I know how the military goes, and we decided to hire him on. And this guy has flourished. He has proven to himself what he's capable of doing. The military was a challenge, but this was challenging to him too, because we put him in situations that, would require a lot from him. And now he is the most senior move captain we have, even though we have experienced movers coming through. He is like the leader of our moving side of our company. And he's now, you know, if you see him when he first came in, he was this, you know, chunky, long-haired guy, you know, and now he's like this, I don't know, he's kind of fit now, right? He's like this fit, long-haired stud, and you can see that he embodied the company. You know, he wears College Hunt gear everywhere he goes, you know, and he's looking like, now he's like looking to see, you know, where he can go to next with the company, you know, and it's it's our guys, you know, it's us seeing them grow, us being able to make a difference in our community, you know, and it's exactly what we're doing. We're employing our community here in the Tomball / Woodlands area, you know.
Love that. Love that. You know, you bring up a really good point, you know, developing your people. Like so many, you know, places are having a tough time finding hunks. And I remember, you know, getting an email from you pretty early on saying, you know, hey, you know, like we have like 40 applicants and like, all this stuff. So like, you know, can you maybe speak to that? Because, you know, I think there's a lot of businesses that really do have a hard time finding people. So like,
Well,
what's the secret sauce?
You know what? I wouldn't call it a secret sauce, but I would definitely consider it as a market evaluation, right? I can consider myself a guy of numbers, right? I'm not as good as a guy that, you know, I'm not as good as some, right? But there are things that stand out to me that are obvious. And the obvious thing to me was this, that our territory had a section in the dead smack in the middle, right? Dead smack in the middle that had, that was ideal it was ideal to hire movers out of, right? I looked at what the average household income was, right? And I said, well, the ideal mover would be a household income of here. So let's focus on this section of our territory for hiring, right? For us to try to hire movers out of the Woodlands would be kind of like, you know, it wouldn't be reasonable, right? So let's look for the community that requires employment, and let's try to fit this into an area that would, you know, fit that market. And so that's what we did. And so once we determined where we wanted to target at, what zip codes we wanted to target at for hiring, we then determined, we tested a few things. The first one that we tested was, which is that hiring chatter, right? So we tested chatter, and they were okay. We were like, okay, not much activity in chatter. We tested LinkedIn, not much activity in LinkedIn, and let's go ahead and test Indeed, right? So we started looking at Indeed, and we said, okay, Indeed does have a little bit more, right, activity, but let's personalize our ads. Like, if we market so hard to clientele, we're going to be marketing so hard to clientele, we need to also be marketing to our potential employees. So we beefed up our hiring ad, you know, put myself doing that breakdance move, and you know, we threw the energy on there and wording. Like, if you read it, you read like I speak, you know, you have that personality to the read of that hiring ad, and you can check it out when you want to, Dana. Like, it looks like this has got to be the best place to work at in the world, you know. and our guys say that, like, our guys walk by like, you know, Mr. Mejia, you are the best boss we've had, because that's exactly what we're going to be. That's what we're shooting for. And so they would read that personality on that ad, and then it wasn't like a copy and paste thing, right? Because that copy and paste thing, it's very, you know, basic.
Yeah.
But so ours, we edited, man, and then the application started rolling in. You know, it became it became a bit overwhelming.
Wow.
Because we said, look, if these guys take the time out to apply for us, we're going to take the time out to interview them. We had 70 applicants a week.
Woo! Wow.
So there's that eliminating factor of the no call, no shows and stuff like that. But we were interviewing one person an hour every hour.
Wow.
Until we built the perfect team. That's that's what it took. So yeah, that's the secret, I guess.
That's a commitment. I am curious, like you said, you were kind of marketing for employees in a certain area. Was it like a middle income area?
Yes, it was, it was a middle income area because I knew I wasn't going to be hiring a guy from, that had an income of over 100,000 plus, or a guy that came from an area that had an income of over 100,000 plus, because I mean, come on, we're not hiring for doctors. We're hiring for laborers, we're hiring young men that, need that summer income. We're hiring, young men that need that start in their career to see if they have that potential to grow, but it can't be, doctor salary. So
You're exactly right. You got to know your target audience and cater to them. So it sounds like you did a really great job there. I am curious about, like favorite core value. I'm going to guess what it is, but just curious, like what that is and why for you guys.
All right, you and me are gonna say it at the same time. You guess what I think it is, and I'm gonna say the actual thing. Ready?
I think it's one of two. Okay, so let's try it. Really?
All right.
Ready?
1, 2, create
building leaders.
Create a fun
leaders is mine.
that was created a fun, enthusiastic.
That was number 2.
Yeah.
I knew it was one or the other.
Yeah. Dang, I forgot about building leaders. I should have said that. But no, that's what it is. Creating that environment.
Yep. No, you obviously do a great job of that, and I think it really inspires your people. And I think your people are going to treat your customers as well as you treat them. And so it sounds like you guys are doing such a great job there. What are you, last question, what are you most proud of at this point? I know you've only been open for a few months, but anything stick out in your mind? Obviously, milestones that you guys are hitting revenue wise or cool things you just want to share?
I don't have too much to talk about because, like, again, we're still new, right? We're still learning. We'll always be in that learning phase, no matter how seasoned we become. But the biggest milestone that I have is, look, we had $100,000, target for our second month, and we broke it by 40%.
Woo!
For that.
Wow.
This month, I don't know. We're still looking at our market. This month might not reach those numbers. But then again, our market is different than the other, than other places. So we just learning as we go type of thing, but we're going to give it hell, guaranteed.
A new business, it takes a lot of gas to get that thing off the ground, but you guys have definitely done that. What's interesting is I talked to so many owners that are like midway through the month and they're like, I don't know if we'll do as well as we did last month. And then they end up like the last week, like they just crush it. And it's like, wow, well, it's interesting how this business kind of, the little bit of ebb and flow. And, you guys sound like you're just really good at rolling with it.
Yeah. That what we envisioned happened, right? Again, like our target was to make, like every other franchise territory that opens up, $1 million a year, right? Yep. Well, hey, let's break that down in small sections. What is required to become $1 million company? Well, $250,000 quarters, right? So we already, we're there, right? But to break that down in further sections, what would it require daily revenue? Yeah. What would that require? We broke it down to minute sections and we made these goals for all these people, all these guys that are in our team, and they were like goal oriented, so I think that helped, just having that vision, not just running amok.
100%.
Using our numbers.
I know you're on top of it, and you guys, I don't know if you know this, but you get a lot of kudos in our huddle. So your coaches are talking about you. Appreciate all that you guys bring to the table. I truly appreciate you guys making the time. I know it's busy, it's a work day, and thank you for making the time to share a little bit. Continued success, man. I can't wait to see what happens, and I can't wait to see you at reunion.
We're so excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to go as long as I don't get asked to do that breakdancing move. Kim's like, they're gonna ask you to do it. We'll see. I'll probably that's probably when I tear my pants.
That weekend we'll be celebrating
our anniversary.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
At
wow. How cool
Yeah,
is
so
that?
every reunion will always be our anniversary. I mean, that's the
Well,
best way to spend it though, you know, especially if we travel. I mean, come on, it gives me a reason to like head out to Florida, you know?
hey, absolutely. And we're happy to, and you can stay a little longer and, you know, do the sightseeing and enjoy each other. So I know you guys are strong. You inspire us all. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank
And thank
you.
you for letting us know that you guys talk about us. You know, that means a lot. It really
Hey,
does.
man, we can't stop thinking about you. What are you talking about?
Well, you know, hopefully, you know, we'll give you guys more to talk about. You know, I know that this it's a game of patience.
Yeah.
You know, it's a game of patience, and you know, the entrepreneur that understands that, you know, business takes time, you know, and which we do. It's, you know, I think that's gonna be our key to success, you know.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you got to look at it long term. It's not a sprint, it's more of a marathon. And
Oh.
you know, you just keep doing what you do and control what you can control, and inspire and impress. So continue doing that, you're going to be just fine.
Yeah, no, we're looking forward to it, and I think we will, for sure. I think we will. Look, we evaluated our market before we even went ahead and signed those documents. You know, we said, hey, this is what we're expecting to be at, and then, you know, we kind of find out that, you know, College Hunks, the franchise, you know, did research, and our numbers match. So hey, everything aligns up perfectly. So, you know,
Hey, appreciate you guys. Continue
Thank you.
success.
thank you, Dana, and it's a pleasure seeing you again. I think
Yeah,
you need to keep
likewise.
in touch with us more often.
I know, man. I need to be better. But I know how busy you are too. So I definitely want to be respectful of that.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it. But you know, like how you always talk about us, we're always talking about you. Like, where's Dana at? What's Dana doing? I wonder.
Appreciate you. I'll be better at staying in touch.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks, guys.
Sincere
Thank
pleasure.
you.